Ooh, good morning. Starting to get a bit chilly here out in the central west. I quite like this weather, autumn weather, real autumn weather. Um, just inspired by Alan as usual, Static Traveller, showing some wonderful Art Deco sleeves, 1930s, 78s, 1920s even. I've used to have a lot of 78s, but I travelled and moved a lot, and the weight and the breakage and I've got a token half dozen 78s, and so you got to realise I'm very envious of people in the UK in particular, because of your population back in the 1930s and 20s was 10 times Australia's. So anything you find in Australia is really hard to. It's very rare because of the just the lack of people to buy the records, and in most cases during the Depression, no money to buy the records. So anyway, that's another subject. But there was a wonderful blog, or whatever you call it, thing I looked at years ago, and it was photographs of all the labels from the 1930s. Oh my God, and 20s. So many beautiful labels. Art Deco is definitely where my mangy old head's at. I got nothing of any particular interest to show here. I just thought I'd show what I've got, or most of it. This is not a particularly attractive tin full of needles. Whoops. Approximately 200 English gramophone needles. The Gramophone Company Proprietary Limited. Can't read the rest. It's pretty much full. I've never opened it. This one I really love. This is real Art Deco. This is the real deal. Gorgeous, isn't it? 200 on the corners, 200 top and bottom there. It's got like an obi, like the Japanese records. It's got an obi wrapped right around. It's never been opened. That's Art Deco. It's got to be 1930s, early 30s, I'd say, or even late 20s. Found that many decades ago. I was super chuffed. It's never been opened. It's sealed. And manufactured specially for Columbia Gramophones Australia Limited, Sydney, New South Wales. So it's an Australian box or tin full of needles, Art Deco style. I love that. Love it. Just had to show this. These need cleaning. They've been accumulating dust out here. The all dust blows in, as what's his name? Captain Beefheart would say. The dust blows in and the dust blows back. That's my life story out here. I just don't bother cleaning anymore. You just open the windows and hope the dust blows back. That's I think an early 50s, made in England Parlophone Backwater Blues, Bessie Smith. And on the other side is Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out. Now, that's a famous song of, by Bessie Smith. I should clean that. The side's very, it's in brilliant condition, but it just needs a good clean. I think these are early 50s reissues. I haven't got a 78. I have got a 78 player. It's an Australian-made wind-up acoustic, but I'm just too old. I can't see properly to put the needle. The thought of changing a needle every time I want to play a record, I'm too old. You know, my back problems and eyes, it's just too hard. I just like to look at them. Don't play them. It's a young man's game. Yeah. I mean, these are called 78s, and I'm fucking 71. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, I haven't got much to show. This is a Regal Zonophone. It's not particularly attractive, but it is. Regal Zonophone records are manufactured under the following patents: Australian patent, blah, 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 New Zealand patent. They are only licensed for sale at authorised prices for private performance. So, always the most novel and unusual in records, Regal Zonophone, made in Australia by Columbia. I've always loved the Regal Zonophone Dunhill colours, I call them, you know, the gold and red. Started out as a Salvation Army label. It's incredible. And then in Australia, they released most of the hillbilly, you know, yodeling and blues, not blues, but the hillbilly stuff out here. It was mainly Salvation Army marching bands and hillbilly stuff. Funny, isn't it? Strange mixture. And then in the 60s, they made a comeback with Procol Harum and Tyrannosaurus Rex and The Move. For 2 or 3 years, it was the coolest label on the planet. What's up, Push? You want to go in? She gets a bit worried because the Tomcat comes around this time. Hello, how are you? Yeah, where was I? Regal Zonophone, yeah. I had a lot of hillbilly stuff. Tex Morton, and you know, he's not American, he's a Kiwi actually, but he spent most of his career in Australia and the US. Bloody good hillbilly singer, superb. Right up there. Here's a Decca in the wrong bag. That looks pretty much like the one you showed, Alan. China Doll. Slim Whitman. Hey, he's famous. And Indian Love Call. Yeah, that's one of his famous songs. Or recordings. Yeah, Slim Whitman. He was hugely popular back in the 30s. Some of the records, his Master's Voice bag. Now that's sort of like a, see that one, Alan, if you watch this? That's like that 1920s one you showed. Could be almost exactly the same, actually. I've just watched the video, but I can't remember what label it was. But you had one with like that, with 2 record players on it. Wind-ups. The old acoustic wind-ups. The problem with 78s is, it's, you know, like, to find the really good stuff, the good blues and jazz and hillbilly, in a country like Australia is impossible. You know, I mean, to even have these is amazing. But I regret. So I lost my job 40 years ago. I was retrenched through no fault of my own, and I had to sell off a lot of my 78s. I kept 2 copies of this one because it's a particular favourite of mine, the Rodeo label. Australian ARC, Australian Record Company Proprietary Limited, 29 Bligh Street, Sydney, Australia. Distributed by G.J. Aitken, 335 Dowling Street, Sydney. Always love that. There's a love knot in my lariats. Reg Lindsay. This would be a good Australian country singer. Sundowner Yodel, written by Reg Lindsay. Yeah. So this is late 40s, early 50s. Australian 78. This is ancient. This needs cleaning big time. Really needs cleaning. I'm a bit ashamed to show this one. I should have actually given them. We'll see. I haven't had a bath for 6 months, so I might hop in the bath at some time in the next 6 months and jump in with a 78. I'm like Prince Andrew. I don't sweat. I don't stink. It's weird. It's yep. I don't stink. Funny, isn't it? Some people just have terrible body odor. I just don't. I'm not complaining. I think this is the oldest record. Oh, this is definitely the oldest record I've got. Band of His Majesty Scots Guards. Yeah, this is ancient. Manufactured at Edison Bell Works, London. Guaranteed genuine British patent, 1912. That's how old this is. Well, that's not how old this is. That's how old the patent is. But I know for a fact that this is a very, very old label. Needs a clean, but don't shoot me. The lights, it's really bad here. I'm out under the fluoro, but it's better than inside, which is even worse. But see how dirty it is. But yeah, Winner Records, that's a race horse. That's the oldest record I got. That'd be definitely early 20s or earlier even. I don't know. Anyway, it's enough waffling. Great video, Alan. I just love that Imperial one you showed, that label, that red and black. Oh my God. And someone commented on your video is also, and I've just subbed to his channel because he's got like an absolute shitload of old 78s, so that'll keep me amused. Okay, take care all.